we're going to go over 4 key principles of goal setting. We call it setting business intentions, right? So what are you going to be intentional about this year? If it's a goal, then it's probably something that needs to be quantified. There needs to be some metrics that are attached to it. Like why? I was talking to a young man last week, and he kept saying, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I said, well, most of the time, if you say you want to do something, you'll rarely do it. But if you say you will do it, the likelihood of success increases just by changing that one word. And then when you say that, I will, and then now you start to break it down, okay, you will do $100 million in revenue. You will do $10 million in revenue. You will meet 15 new people, right? How are you going to now do that, right? So we're going to go through just a few things real quick this morning, and then we will help me eat the 6 dozen donuts that I have in that other room. So and they are Krispy Kreme. I didn't go with Dunkin'. Everybody knows Krispy Kreme is everybody knows Krispy Kreme is better. So the 4 key principles of setting business intentions: 1, clarity of vision. Prioritize your key objectives. Track metrics and performance, and anticipate and overcome obstacles. I probably should have put that one first, because we all know there is going to be something that's going to happen in 2025 that is going to be an excuse that we use to not meet our goal. But as we start in January, we're going to just talk through on how we're going to alleviate the excuses, how we're going to overcome some of those things, so that when they come, 1, we're not surprised. 2, we have a plan and a network of people to help us overcome. So clarity of vision. Success begins with a clear vision of where you're headed. So where are you going? Where are you going? When you get back to December 2025, will you be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, and this year was a success? I'm big on taking notes. I'm big on writing things down. We're going to have a vision board group for our internal company here in a couple of weeks, so we can look at where do we want to go, put some tangible pictures and words and phrases. Jason said sell and drive. That's our slogan for this year, sell and drive, right? If you're in business, you got to sell. And if you're going to sell, you got to drive yourself sometimes. If you have a team, you got to drive the team. So we're going to put through some of those things. Like I say, your vision isn't just a statement. It's a compass that guides every decision and action, right? Write your vision down. Write your vision down. Where do you want to go? He wants to build the first net zero affordable housing community in Northeast Florida. That's huge. As we know, those of us in real estate, affordable housing is an issue right now, right? So to create an opportunity for housing to become affordable, that's an amazing vision. Now, I know he said 70 units, so we meeting a guy in the back, we have an idea on how much that's going to cost, right? So he's going to need resources. He's going to need to map all of that out. He's going to need a pitch deck. I'm just using you as an example, because he's going to be able to take that vision and put it into something quantifiable, so when he's sitting down with the right people that he's connecting with, they can see his vision, and then they can see the math, and they can decide if they want to write a check, right? Because that's what we're all trying to get to. The clearer your vision, the easier it is to align your goals and to stay focused on what matters, right? The thing with trying to do everything, sometimes it puts us in a place where we can't do anything, right? So what are the goals? What's the why behind your vision? And then how are you going to accomplish them? And is it even realistic? If you did $500,000 in revenue last year, is it realistic to have your vision be $20 million this year? Unless you have something in the works that that is going to produce fruit in that, then the likelihood of meeting your goal through your vision it's not real tangible, right? So we want the goals, we want the visions to be realistic, in what we are trying to accomplish. Prioritizing the key objectives. I was looking at my to-do list yesterday. I had 13 things on it. That was a light day. Now, I accomplished all 13 things that were on my to-do list yesterday, but I left here at 8 o'clock. So my wife and my children, I'm a father of 5, they're like, Daddy, where are you at? Like, I'm on my way. I have to finish these things because some of them had to do with what we were doing here today and some other things that we have going on. We're also in the process of getting the groundwork started to do a small development over on the north side of Jacksonville. So there's just a lot of things that needed to be done. And I knew that today was going to be busy, so I had to make the sacrifice to get them done. So to practice what I preach, moving forward, did all of those things need to be done yesterday? Or did I just think they needed to be done yesterday, right? So I'm going to start prioritizing my own objectives better so that I can be as productive as possible so that what I'm doing will align with our company vision of sell and drive. Some of these high impact objectives could be, increasing revenue, expanding your client base, building a team, improving your systems. I want you to think about aligning these objectives with your long-term vision to ensure that every effort moves you closer to success. Think about it. Every effort moves you closer to success. Not, this aligns with my vision, this is just keeping me busy. Right? I'm really busy, but I'm not doing things that align with meeting my vision. So you got to be. That's where we got to be honest with ourselves. Just to be able to say, hey, I'm busy. Hey, I had 13 things on my list. If I go back and look at them, probably 5 of them, all the things needed to be done, but did it align with my personal vision and with the vision of the company? We need to be able to be honest with ourselves in that regard. Clarity of focus leads to clarity in results. If I'm focused on a specific thing, if I have my goals lined out, I have my how I'm going to do the thing that I said I will do mapped out in a good process-oriented way, then when I hit my results, it's going to be clear. It's like, I kind of hit it or I didn't hit it. Does that make sense? It's being honest with ourselves to have a clarity of vision so that when we get the results that we are striving for, there is no question as to whether or not we were successful. Because at the end of the day, as entrepreneurs, as business leaders, as leaders in the community, we are our biggest critic, right? And sometimes we can get in our own head, well, I failed at this, we're going to remove that word from our vocabulary for this year. We're going to have clarity of vision, and we're going to strive to meet that vision by aligning everything up and setting it down. Track your metrics and your performance. Everybody's heard this. What gets measured gets improved, right? So if it's 100 phone calls a day, if it's 50 emails, it's 10 networking events a month. Whatever it is that you're doing, if you measure it and you track it and you are system oriented, then at the end of every month or the end of every quarter, we will be able to look back and say, this was effective, this was productive, or we've just added a new product line. This new product line, we said we were going to give it 3 months. We've sold 2 widgets. We were wanting to sell 60 widgets. Let's kill the widgets because it's not aligning with our vision and it's not pushing us where we needed to go. The same thing goes with our team members. We bring people in, we want to encourage them, we want to equip them to be a part of what to build what it is that we're building. But if they are not meeting their goals that we have identified and that we have agreed upon, right? And sometimes, as much as we don't like to, got to cut ties. Define your measurable goals like revenue targets, customer retention rates, and your market reach. And this is specific for each and every one of us in the business in which we are in. What does that look like? What are your revenue goals? Where is your market? We're getting ready to launch a Miami office for our roofing division, which is absolutely amazing. But with that, we're going to have metrics and goals, and has to be measurable, because everything we're going to do in Miami is going to be the framework for when we go to Tampa or we go to Fort Myers, when we go to Orlando. That is, it's like a real estate brokerage. You got these different places where you're going to expand your business, right? Each one of them is going to be its own living and breathing organism. So how do we measure that? What's sustainable? Those are questions that it's good to write them down. Ask yourself, am I doing these things, or am I just throwing something on the wall to see if it sticks, right? There's success in that sometimes, but it's rare. Regularly evaluate your progress, whether it's weekly, monthly, or quarterly, to ensure that you are staying on track. What I have found, it's better for me to go outside of the organization to have somebody hold me accountable. Obviously, Scott and our team holds me accountable, but it's better to have a neutral party that I have went to and sat down with and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do next month. So then they can call me at the beginning of the next month and say, hey, did you hit this? Did you do this? You said you were going to do this. You said you were going to do that, right? And it's better because they're just an independent party, but they care about what I'm doing as an individual, so they can help hold me. They can help hold me accountable. And that's just one of the things that I like to do. But it's also, if you're measuring what you're doing and why you're doing it, then you can evaluate your progress. You can be honest with yourself to go back and say, I said I was going to do these 10 things today, but I only did 5. Why did you only do the 5? Tracking your metrics not only shows progress, but also highlights areas where adjustments are needed. You can have a phenomenal plan starting into 2025. Most of us probably do. It's probably going to change. It's probably going to change. And that's okay. But if you're tracking it and it still is your vision, you might not need to scrap it, but you may need to pivot a little bit. We love that word here. We pivot a lot. But as we go into 2025, pivot less, produce more. That's our new slogan. We're going to get it on the wall. Anticipate and overcome obstacles. Challenges are inevitable. Preparation makes all of the difference in the world. We know that, we are in construction, real estate, and development. Everything that we do, for the most part, has something to do with a house or a building, some form of structure that humans go into. Some to sleep, some to shop, right? We know that there's some things on the horizon with commercial mortgages. We see that we went into January 1 with a 7% interest rate for residential mortgages, right? There's different factors that are going to come into play that are going to affect how people spend their money, right? So we're planning for that. But the one thing that I can't plan for is what the economy is going to do in 3 months or 4 months. We can be aware, we can read, we can research, we can think we have a good idea, but you could wake up tomorrow morning and the Dow drop another 600 points, right? Every analyst you look at to tell you that's going to go up 300, but then it drops 600, right? So how are we positioning ourselves from a cash flow perspective, from having reserves to where we can handle the storm if the storm comes? These are things that we can sit down as an organization and as a team and plot out, things, right? We don't want to harp on the negative, but we want to understand that there are going to be challenges because we've seen them. 2024 had challenges. 2020 had challenges. 2008, 2009 had challenges. We're in a world that will consistently have challenges that will affect our businesses and our lives. So if we are rooted in our vision and how we plan to execute that vision, understanding and anticipating some of the obstacles that we are going to come into contact with, we will have a higher likelihood of success moving through them. But that all goes back to the beginning. Are we being honest with ourselves, being honest with our business, and anticipating the problems so we can stay ahead and adapt with confidence, turning challenges into opportunities for growth. We've all probably experienced something where, think Bitcoin. Did anybody get offered an opportunity to buy Bitcoin for 35 cents 20 years ago? That was the dumbest thing that I had ever heard. This doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? Okay, what is it trading at today? 100 grand? Yeah, since 98,000, right? So, yes, I would not be sitting here talking to you today if I would have had a little bit more vision and thinking about when that gentleman approached me and he's like, dude, you need to do this. It's going to change your life. Right? So next time somebody asks a Bitcoin, a Dogecoin, or whatever, maybe I'm going to have that conversation, right? But there will be things that will come in front of us that weren't part of the vision, but they could align with where we want to go, right? So, but have the confidence that you are leaders. You are strong in what you do. You're all educated. You're talented human beings. And just because a challenge comes in front of you, don't let that derail you as you move into the rest of the year. Because before you know it, it's going to be June, and then it's going to be December. You know, I like to just encourage everybody just to treat every day as the most valuable day that you will ever have. Because tomorrow is not guaranteed, but you do have today. So be intentional with your businesses, be intentional with your employees, your team members, your families, your friends, because today is what you got. That I can guarantee you. All of you are here today and you have a purpose and you want to be more successful and we want to see you be successful. So if there's any way that we can help you do that, feel free to let us know. And very few businesses were ever built by accident. Very few people that you would think of that have become wildly successful in whatever space that they're in did not do it by accident. There was a certain level of discipline that was put into play, into practice, that got them to where they wanted to be, right? Comparison kills, right? Like for us, there's CBRE is a national leader in commercial real estate. They're in all things, right? I would like to conquer them one day, right? But if I look at what they're doing today in comparison to what we are doing right now, we are a little ant and they are a dinosaur, right? They are massively huge. So, but if I compare my success to them, I'm going to feel like a failure, right? But I can see where they're going and see what they're doing. And like, okay, maybe I don't have to reinvent the wheel completely, but I can be disciplined enough one day at a time to put together the processes and the practices to be them one day, or even twice the big, right? Sound good? This is me. I would love for you to take a picture of this, scan this. That is going to bring you to my Instagram page and DeVore Capitals as well. I would love for you to connect with us and stay connected with us. And also just on a side note, most of y'all came here because of the meetup.com Jacksonville Small Business Networking Group. Help us bring that back to life as we go and continue into 2025. Engage with me on there. Let's talk, let's chat, let's see how we can make this grow and really encourage entrepreneurs to lead in their space. Sound good?